Trish Kendall with the Trish Kendall Speaks episode. There is a shorthand, secret language, a common language that I think addicts use with addicts. So I have been clean for decades. And I spent the evening Saturday night with a young woman who's been clean for months, 14 months to be exact. And I'm going to give you the background to this, but Saturday night when we got home, it was either Saturday night or Sunday morning when Joe and I got home. Joe said to me in the bathroom while we were like brushing our teeth, he said, I've never heard you share. I've never heard you in conversation with another addict. And he said, it's different. It's raw. It's more real than I've ever heard you. And I share with people in the masses and through speaking and workshops and blogs and even short videos. But I have reflected on what he said because it is true. There is a major difference. How about this? There is just a difference. And I didn't even realize it. A difference of me sharing a story or an experience with somebody who has never been an addict, and then sharing a story or experience with somebody who is. And I believe I will always be an addict. I just have been clean for a very, 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 very long time. And this young woman, she believes the same. So little background, I won't use names, but this is something I can share because she shares with people who she inspires and helps to become better versions of themselves. And her dad, so Joe and I are friends with her dad, and her father lives near us, and his son and Sammy play baseball together. And she's 29, and she has struggled with heroin addiction for 10 years. And I've known this. She lives in a different state. So I've never met her. And I've known about this because my friend has shared this with me, and he knows my story, and he was blown away. Let's just be very clear. When he did find out about my addiction and crystal meth and crank and needles and the whole thing, he was just blown away because it's just so hard to put the mom of Lily and Sam and the wife of Joe and the neighborhood, fun and the businesswoman and all the stuff that I am, and to try to even see an image of me as an addict with bruises up and down my arms and track marks and smoking and shooting up crank and crystal meth in a Motel 6. I mean, serious shit. Anyways, I digress. So when he did learn this about me, he was pretty blown away. And so then he shared with me about his daughter. And at the time, she had gone in and out of her addiction. And like, it just breaks my heart. I mean, it really, and to the point where she spent time in prison. She'd been, manipulated and convinced and coerced into, drug, just the whatever, selling drugs, trafficking drugs, all that stuff. And guess what? So did I. I just never got caught. There's something, right? She hasn't done anything. She didn't do anything that I didn't do too. So, so what I said to my friend is, I said, oh my gosh, so that's amazing. She got clean when she was in prison. That's just, I mean, an unbelievable gift. So glad. He's like, no. There was like drugs everywhere in prison. uh, everywhere. So it was when she came out that there was a moment in time that she said, uh, I want a chance to change. I want to choose to change. So fast forward, she's been clean for 14 months. She's just now moving out of her sober house. She's getting an apartment. She is a sponsor for other young women who are on their journey of recovery. She has her sponsor, of course. And so my friend said, "Oh, my daughter is going to be here for the weekend. She's coming to all the baseball games. Da da da. Would you and Joe come over?" And I couldn't have been happier and more honored that he wanted me to come over for dinner. And the kids play baseball, and it's his Easter calendar. And so my friend was coming off a fast and finally eating meat again. So I did. And Saturday, as the boys are outside playing baseball and Joe and him are talking about baseball, little league, and I don't know what they're talking about, everything that's summer ball. And she and I, his daughter, just sat there around the, kitchen table thing and talked. And now I did not bring up anything until he did. He made the connection of my past and her past and present. And so then she and I started talking. And it is a shorthand. It is a common language, a secret language. A feeling of such, it's a gigantic feeling it was a gigantic feeling for me to be in the room with this young woman who I know is so early on in her recovery. And all the successes that she's had over the last 14 months are huge. And I also know how, unfortunately, how easy it is or how hard it is to stay on that road, and how easy it is to fall off. So she and I just, shared, and it was positive. Like, we were talking, it's positive. She's getting her esthetician license. She just finished school. She's taking her test. I think, oh my gosh, I think she took it yesterday. I'm going to ask her dad. She was nervous about it, but she'd completed her school to be an esthetician. And so as we're having a conversation, I'm also feeling and being very cognizant of, I've been, clean for decades. She's been clean for months. There's a big difference there. And it's, I think, touchy territory, precarious territory. How about this? Dangerous territory. To have a conversation that could perhaps trigger a feeling of desire. So I avoided any and all, like, there was no conversation about, like, oh yeah, like, when you'd be high, oh my gosh, when you were high, or when I was high, or no. Those are not the conversations that you have with somebody who's recovering. But I was aware, even in our little bit of conversation about her recovery, that anything I said or did could in fact trigger a feeling within her. Because it took me a very, 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 very long time to not have a trigger of a the feeling of, oh, I remember when, or how it felt to be high, or what it felt like to be able to stay up super, super late with people and converse and talk and have fun and party. And, I go to sleep at 8:30 now. So, but now in reflecting, for me, so I was sharing a little bit of this with a friend of mine this morning, and they asked me, if I ever have a feeling today, if a conversation or anything ever triggers a feeling of desire to use, and it's a emphatic no. Any trigger, anything that triggers me to feel the effects of my drug addiction, what I feel is shame and like literally the heebie-jeebies, disgust, awe. Sometimes I feel awe. There are so many stories that I haven't shared, and it's not that I don't want to share. It almost feels insurmountable to share the stories of that time when I was getting almost to the pit of despair, and the chaos around me and the evil around me and the danger around me, and the danger that I attracted. It's the stories. So I'll think about finding the energy to share some of these stories. But to the point, when I do think about it, if something triggers me, it's not desire, it's disgust, it's shame, it's surreal. I'm awestruck. I never got, I did many illegal things, many times. I never got caught. I didn't get shot. I didn't have to choose whether I was going to have an abortion or have a baby. Like, which might seem like, oh, but yeah, I mean, truly, like, I could have been in a situation where I had to choose have a baby as an addict or have an abortion. I never had to make that choice. I never was faced with that. So there's so many things that bypassed me somehow or another. And as I listened to this beautiful young woman, beautiful inside and out, and her excitement for finishing school and her nervousness for taking this test to become an esthetician, her excitement for the apartment that she to move into, and the genuine satisfaction of just being at her little brother's baseball game is really something. So yes, addicts have a shorthand. We do. We have a common language. We have a secret language. We don't even actually have to share any words. Our body language, our eyes, our eyebrows, it all tells a story. And I have very infrequently been able to spend time with someone who is really on their journey to an incredible life through recovery, that I've been able to share in that language and speak to one another from our eyes and our heart and our knowledge. So thank you for being along this journey with me. And to you, you know who you are. I'm thinking of you. I'm proud of you. And go out and inspire the masses. Choose and become.